You're in the right place, and this next session is going to light up your teacher brain brighter than a highlighter on neon paper. Be sure to track your progress with that sticker challenge. Let's crush this PD the retro way.
Hey friends, happy summer. I am Cassi Noack from Minds in Bloom, and I'm just super excited that you are thinking about launching a financial literacy unit in your classroom. You will not regret it. I want to start by saying this. I just didn't grow up with money. I had amazing parents, but money was always tight, and I even just felt that as a kid. Whether it was shopping at Goodwill for prom or just being a little bit hesitant to invite friends over because my house wasn't really like theirs, that experience really shaped me. And now as a teacher and a mom, and yes, my whole family is entrepreneurs, my husband, my daughter, I am very passionate about helping kids build a positive money mindset because money isn't just about wealth. It has freedom and options and confidence. And we can give all that to our students by teaching them just real world skills starting right now. I created a classroom economy system that I ran all year long in my classrooms. It was one of my absolute favorite things I ever did with students. And it helped my students learn financial skills, and it worked to make the classroom management so much smoother. And here's why it works. Instead of managing behavior with a lot of different things, maybe you do marbles, or I've seen words written on a chalkboard where you're erasing some of the letters, or constant reminders. Students can learn to manage themselves when it's a part of a system. So we had a system in our class, a system where the students earned cash, they managed their money, they invested their money, they ran businesses, they saved for things they wanted, and every part of it was tied to their behavior, their effort, their choices. And that meant there were fewer power struggles in the classroom. There was a lot more student ownership and just way more buy-in. So the first pillar to having a program like this in your classroom is making money. So students would first have to apply for classroom jobs. And yes, they had to apply. I created a really realistic looking job application. They had to fill it out. They had to have references. I would even call their reference. This gave the students a sense that this is real. There was purpose in there, and there was a lot of pride. I actually only had 6 jobs, and I rotated those jobs monthly to keep it simple. And that also made it that much more important to the students because they couldn't just have one every time. They had to really work for it. So salaries that I paid out were consistent. They were manageable. I just used regular old fake money that I purchased at the dollar store. It was super simple and fun. And the students would do their jobs because they worked so hard to earn it. They put a lot of effort into doing it well. I would also give money in other situations. So not everybody had a job every month. And so they could still earn bonuses, and they could earn bonuses for things like behavior, academic growth, or kindness. I would always say, your job as a student is to come to school and to learn. Grades show if that happened or not. So if you're doing really well, in real life, you would get a bonus. And as a student, you can also get a bonus for doing the things that you're supposed to do well. This is where classroom management really comes in. I would give bonuses for things that I wanted to encourage, like turning in their homework, showing a lot of effort. I never really wanted to just praise good grades. I wanted to praise effort and growth, and other things like using kind words. So anytime I had a personal goal for a student, I would think of how can I compensate the students for the achievements that they've made. And it really helped shape our entire classroom culture. So once they would have all of this money, next we would get into managing the money. So students learn to track their earnings and keep up with it. They would budget for different class expenses and decide whether they would want to save or to spend. We had a little class store where they could buy things. Some of them paid me for supplies. Like if a student lost a pencil, I would never just give them another pencil. They would have to buy a new one. And this was really for dry erase markers. Students would forget their lids or whatever. We used dry erase markers a lot. And when they didn't have one anymore, they would just come buy another one. We even had bank accounts in the classroom, and the bank account application was also very real. And they had like a monthly fee for having their bank account. I tried to make it as realistic as possible just so that it was fun. So the students had ledgers. They had graphs. A lot of them even made duct tape wallets. I don't know if you remember when the duct tape craze went through. One year, like every student in the class had a duct tape wallet. It was about, just giving them real responsibility in a safe place. And it was real. If they lost their money, it was gone. I would remind them, if in real life, if you had a $5 bill and you dropped it on the ground and someone else took it, do you get it back? Does the bank give you money because you lost it? And so it really taught them responsibility and how to care for all of their things and just to be accountable. And this helped reduce behaviors in a lot of different areas. It wasn't just about the money. It was about library books. It was about their work. It really did spill over into being responsible in other ways. And the most fun part of the year was when we worked on investing the money. We called it Market Day. And every 9 weeks on Report Card Day, half of the class would become producers. The other half would become consumers. And the producers got to create a business. We worked through an entire business plan from choosing a product to create, to sell. And we spent a lot of time making this as realistic as possible. Like their parent couldn't just buy them something. And if their parent helped them, they had to pay their parent for that work. Even during the sell, the students were coming up with creative ways to make their business even more successful. So for example, if they're in the middle of market day and no one was buying their things, they had to think ahead. What could they do? Could they hold a sale? Some would try to hold a raffle. The creative thinking was just, it was the best. That was my favorite part, is seeing what links these kids would go to sell their stuff. Market day was so fun. So all year long, we would implement this so that they could come up and get all their money and invest their money to make more money. And it was all leading up to our very end of the year auction. So I wanted students to also develop a little bit of charitableness. And basically the students would have to donate something from home, something of theirs that they think other people in the classroom would like. They would donate it to our classroom. And on the last day of school, we would hold an auction. So the students who took their jobs very seriously throughout the year and worked really hard on investing, by this time they have a ton of money and they can really clean up at the auction. It is just so fun. So I hope that you are at least considering doing some kind of classroom economy. It is just one of the best things that I ever did for my students. And, it doesn't have to be super hard. You don't have to do all of it at once. You can start with simple things like jobs and paydays, and you can, add on to it later. You can try a market day when you're ready for it. And it's just a lot of fun. Before we leave, I just wanted to remind you that if you are an All Access member, you can get my complete year-long done for you financial literacy program for free. And even if you're not, you can pick any 3 parts of that program at bit.ly/summertalk25. You can pick any 3 you want for free. I hope that you're enjoying this super fun conference and that you have a great day. Bye.
You just made serious moves, teacher friend, like mall madness on a Saturday level progress. Now's your chance to win a spot in our Back to School Success course. 3 scholarships up for grabs. Check your email, the show notes, or the Facebook group for the link before June 26th. Time's ticking like a flip phone battery.